Hello, this is Sabina at Cross Keys Crafts. Today with another video using this set from Polkadoodles. These are the die cut toppers and I have got the matching cardstock. I didn't say it in my last video, but I will put it in the description box when I'm posting it. This is actually an old set that I was sent, so I'm not sure whether that is still available. But obviously the card design I show you the mechanism is suitable for any kind of card, like pattern paper and toppers. So this is another card based on a video by Paul Ford. I will link to his video below. This is called an extending pop-up card, and it's nothing I've seen before, so I thought I'll give it a go, and it is actually fairly easy to create. So for the base you need, let me just zoom in on my measurements there. For the base you need a piece of card that is 10 by 7 inches and you score it in the middle at 5. I've chosen some white cardstock here, but I haven't scored it yet. And then for the front and for the inside you need to choose some, well, you can choose some matte and pattern paper, or you choose just this one as one piece of paper. That's really up to you. I have, because my toppers for the theme of this, which is a Gemini, have got these giraffe, I decided to go for some animal print. Just zooming out a little bit again. And I had this cardstock here that's sort of holographic gold. This is from Germany though, so I can't link to anywhere. But I only had one piece. There's only one piece per pattern in the pad, so I could create the two inside bits from that, and then I chose a different one for the front here. So the matte here, and I chose yellow because of that topper here. The yellow pieces, or the mattes here, are 4 3/4 wide and 6 3/4 high. And as I said, you need 3 of them. You can, if you want, to cut a 4th one if you want your greeting on the back to be matted. I might actually do that in the end. And then for the pattern paper you need 3 pieces that are 4.5 by 6.5. And then you need 2 mechanism pieces. One is 9 inches by 1 1/4 high or wide, and the other piece is 4 1/4 by 1 inch. And then you create 3 square toppers. Sorry, I'm just zooming in again. Sorry about that, I didn't do that before. So 9 1 1/4 and 4 1/4 by 1. And then the 3 toppers. The base is 3 inches square. Then the mat is 2 3/4 square. And the pattern paper 2 1/2 square. I have only gone for the base and the mat or layer in that size. Reason being, I chose some yellow glitter cardstock, and this is sturdy enough, and it would have been too much to have a mat on that, so I just layered these with my toppers. And these are also from the topper set. So I've got my happy birthday, I've got my Gemini, the round one, and it magically fitted right onto that square there. And I've got the giraffe again. By the way, all the toppers except for the little happy birthday here, I have rounded off with my corner rounder. I showed you that in my last video. I got this one from We Are Memory Keepers, and it makes different round corners. And I think, in a way, when you use your corner rounder, it always looks better in the finish, so it looks a bit more sophisticated, I think. Let me just zoom out again. So the happy birthday, by the way, is from the paper pack, that the smaller paper pack. I just cut this one out here. Is it this one? Nope, this one here I used. So I thought that went nicely again with a sort of gold look and the black here on the white. So now we need to do a bit of scoring. Just get this out of the way. Let need these. By the way, I've got a few little toppers here that I might use in the end, but I don't know yet. So the long strip, 9 inches by 1 1/4. We need to score this at 1, 4, 5 and 8. So, and then we turn these all into mountain folds. Make sure when you do that the front lines up with the back, and give them a little bit of a burnish. Ideally I would do that on the flat table and not on the scoreboard. That's okay for here now. So, and then I will do this off camera in a moment. You glue the one piece here on top of the other. If you find they don't quite match, you can actually cut one down a little slither, and then this will fit inside here, and you will actually be able to close that a bit more properly. So I will do this off camera in a moment. I will use my Cosmic Shimmer quick grab glue for that. This is the best I find for any sort of a mechanism that you need to glue down quickly. So, and then the shorter piece here, that is 4 1/4 by 1 inch. Oh, I don't need the scoreboard for that. Bear with me whilst I get my ruler and my silicone mat ready. So you can do this scoring on the scoreboard, but I find it easier to do it on a mat with a ruler, because you need to score at the diagonal. This one, by the way, this is just a kitchen mat I cut down, so any sort of softer surface will work. And what you need to do is, at the bottom, you need to mark here from this side to here at 1 inch. And just put a little pencil mark there. And at the top, you need to mark it at 2 inches. So, and then now you need to score from this mark up to here, and from this mark up to that corner. So I'm just placing my ruler here. I will do it a bit off the line, because I know once I use my tool I will hit that very corner, and I'm pressing my ruler down so that this doesn't slip. If you're not sure, you can actually do it from the other side. Have the ruler on the bigger piece, and by having the silicone mat underneath, I can give it enough pressure to have a deep impression on the score line. So now I'm connecting these two. So when I've done this, I'm going to fold this and give this a very good burnish. You might find, like I have now, if it's not quite correct, you can sort of press it into place a little bit, but I think it doesn't have to be exact for that mechanism. And the other one as well. I might have to cut down a little bit here. Show you that in a second. Can you see I'm a bit off center here, so if I just cut this down just a notch, because this will disappear anyway, this won't look awkward here. So also burnishing this is from the other side, so that is nice and flexible. Mine, by the way, it just happens to be now a 300 GSM, so ideally this would be a bit straighter, but I think it'll be fine. So if you have a lighter cardstock, it might be a bit more pliable, but this will work. Just making sure now that we're bending it the right way, so these need to be folded to the back. That's important. So that will be fine. I will just, can you see what I have here? I will just cut that off as well because that will show on the card. Same with this here where it's overlapping a little bit. Just neatening this up a little bit. Yeah, that's better. So that's all we need for the mechanism. I'm zooming out again. So before we glue anything down, we need to put the oh, I haven't scored this one yet. Bear with me whilst I score this, and then I will put the pattern paper on the inside here as well off camera. Yeah, so I've scored this piece in the middle at 5 inches, folded and burnished it, and then put my mats down. I think it looks cool already. So I would also like to create a little mat for this piece here. And what I've done is I've cut another strip. It's actually a bit shorter than this one, but this doesn't matter. And I've just cut it under 1 inch wide. So I've only got a tiny little edge. I don't want to have the big edge I've got on these pieces. So, and in order to cut the angle here, I'm just lining this up on this side, making sure it's straight. And then I'm just cutting from, let me just get this corner here ready. Let me just zoom in. So I'm now just cutting this along. You can mark it with a pencil if you want to, but we don't need to be that precise. So, and now I just think we need to cut the other side. How do we do that? Yeah, I think just this way. So line it up with a score line there, not well next to it, so because it's a mat, and then cut across here, and then we should have a triangle that will cover this. Yeah, this will cover it very neatly, so I can glue that down. And then this piece already got the right angle. This just gets glued on like this. Don't worry about this because that will be covered anyway. So I quickly glue this down off camera, and then I'll show you how the mechanism goes into the card. In the original video, Paul Ford didn't really say how far we need to move that down. He just said you measure it with your topper. But when I compared the width to this of the strip to how far I put it down, I figured out it was about 2 inches, and I think that will work well. In order to have this straight, I'm getting my T ruler out. If you haven't got one, don't worry about it, but this actually allows me to line this up and see or make sure this is straight here. So I'm using my other ruler, just making sure I am down here at 2 inches. So that is only approximately. So now we need to put glue, or I need to put glue on this little triangle. So I've folded that to the back, and this is where the glue goes, and I'm using my Cosmic Shimmer glue again. Try not to have too much so it oozes out. So, and I'm now placing the tip of the triangle. I'm sorry if that's a bit difficult to see with my cardstock. The tip of the triangle needs to go onto the score line. And I'm just hovering this here until I've got it right. You've got a bit of wiggle room with the Cosmic Shimmer, but not much. And I'm just placing this down here. I'm pressing it down now where the glue is. And then I can open it up. It's oozing out a little bit, so I need to be careful. And when I open it up and fold it down, if it is in line with the score line here and not wonky, then it is in the right position. So when I fold it back, it wants to move a little bit, so be careful with the Cosmic Shimmer glue. I think what I will do is just, now that I've aligned it, keep my fingers off it, leave it to dry, and make sure I don't have any residue here. And then I'll come back and show you how we attach the toppers. Now that this has, well, almost dried, I can take my other piece. I've folded it so that the double bottom is here at the bottom, so that's in the back. And I'm going to put glue here and glue this behind here. So you can mark that if you want to with a little pencil line, because I think it's going to disappear anyway. So I'm going to put glue here as before. Don't want it to ooze out really. And I'm placing that here behind the strip. Hope you can see what I'm doing. And again, make sure it's straight. Don't want this to be wonky. Once you've got it in place, you can press this down. So, and once you have pressed it down, you know it's in place, you can flip it over and you put glue here on the bottom. And you fold this all back up again. And where it lands, you're going to press this down. Again, hold it in place until it's properly dry. I'm going to give that a minute now to dry properly. Now that this has all properly adhered, we can put the 3 panels down. Have a little play which way round you want them if you've got different ones. I decided to, I will have the happy birthday in the middle, that one on the top I think, and this one at the bottom. So you start with the bottom one. I'm using my Cosmic Shimmer glue again. I think it's okay with glitter cardstock. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's not too bad because it's acrylic glue. I wouldn't suggest any sort of just paper glue. And you put this right underneath that mechanism there, and obviously check that you got it equally spaced on either side. And then the next piece, you put glue just on the middle panel here. And then you line your piece up with this one here, so it goes on the same level, but don't put it all the way down. I'll show you in a moment what I mean. So you need to leave a little bit of space, and then you can press this down. Let me just check on the top one, that's okay. Yeah, it actually finishes with a score line at the top there. You've got a bit of bulk because you've got the mechanism here, and you've got a different level actually there. I wonder whether my cardstock is thicker than the one that Paul Ford used, but it's fine. Okay, I'm just pressing this down so it adheres properly. And then the last one just sits on the top panel here, so I'll put glue on here. And then again, you line this up. Just wondering whether I want to have it the other way around, but never mind. So I can actually sit this down, press it down. Again, I'm just leaving a tiny little slither there between them to give the score line some space. So again, I'm leaving that to dry very well. I'm contemplating whether I want anything on this side here. I was thinking maybe these little ones, but it might distract a little bit from that. So maybe I will just add, well, maybe my personal greeting, which I would put on a separate piece of paper and then stick down. But I can also put that in on the back. Or I could have a little, a big happy birthday die cut. Bear with me while I'll show you what I mean. So if I die cut that, that could just sit here without distracting too much from this. Maybe I would cut it in the yellow glitter cardstock again. I'll have a think. So as I said, I'll leave this to dry for a moment and then I'll show you the mechanism. And my last thing will be to put this panel on the front because I've got some bulky already. I didn't want to do that before. A little disclaimer, it might actually be better to glue this down first, because I ended up, because there's so much bulk there, I was struggling to stick this down. What I did though is to press it from the other side. So when you open this up now, these elements pop out and you've got this look to it. So I think this is really cool, and it folds back really, really nicely. And to be honest, I really like the mirror effect here on the cardstock. Yeah, so if I put anything here, I need to make sure it doesn't catch here with the mechanism. I also just spotted that this wants to come off again, so I really, really need to press this down and leave it to dry properly. But yeah, I think this is a really cool card. If you think so too, you might want to give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of what I'm creating, you might want to subscribe to my channel. I'd be very happy about that. And I'll see you soon with another video.